All right, shh, be quiet. Let's run through some of these problems real quick and see how things go. Remember that question number 1 says the graph of which equation will be the circle that has a center of 2 comma negative 3 with a radius of 7. So remember that the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y, the quantity y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared. So remember that this is h comma k. The center of the circle is h comma k, and the radius is 7. So the radius equals 7. So if I plug that in, I have x minus h, which is 2 squared, plus y minus k, but y minus 3 is what? Plus 3. And then that's equal to 7 squared, but what's 7 squared? 49. Oops, I know I forgot this 2 here. So which one is that? Is that B? I think it's B. Let's see. I think I got did I give myself the answers on this thing? Yeah. Oh no, it was C. Wait, I didn't, somewhere I screwed something up. Oh, it's not B. It's actually C, right? I got to read the whole thing. It's C because it's 7 squared, not just 7. Okay? Now this one is the same thing. I have R is equal to 7, H is equal to 0, and K is equal to 0. So it's just going to be X squared plus Y squared equals 49. That one's B. Okay, let me double check. Yep, that's B. Do you guys see where I got that from? This is really X minus 0 squared plus Y minus 0 squared equals 7 squared. And so if you simplify that and expand it and then simplify it, you'll get x squared plus y squared equals 49. So now this next one, it says write the equation of a parabola in standard form. And it gives us that f is equal to 0, comma, negative 6, and the directrix is equal to y, or is y equals 6. So let's figure this out. Here is my x-axis. This is my y-axis. It's telling me that my directrix, the line, is doing this at y equals 6. Then it tells me that I have a focus, and we'll do that in purple. I have a focus at 0, comma, negative 6. So here's the focus here. So that tells me that the parabola opens down. That means that this first term is negative. So it's not this one, and it's not this one, because remember the A term would have to be negative in order for it to flip down, right? So this flips down. And then P is this. So so it's either C or D. Well, this is y equals negative 1, and we'll talk about where the 24 comes from, x squared. Because if you look in the formula, right, if you look in the formula, this, because the focus has a 0 for the x value, then it's going to be x squared. I mean, there's that chart. I can pull up the chart, but it's in your textbook. Also, because the directrix is y equals a number, then it's going to be x squared. Does anybody in here remember where the 24 comes from? Anybody? So if you don't remember where it comes from, I'm going to show you where it is in your notes, because I think that's kind of important. So remember, this was section 4.2. when we talked about parabolas, because as I'm going over this, maybe you need to write this down because I can't guarantee that this will be the same. It might be a sideways parabola instead of an up and down. So I want to show you where this is in your notes, and then you can add the notes to your notes. So remember this table here, right? We talked about this when it's at 0. Remember, in order to find the equation, it's 4 times p, and p is the y value. All right? So p is the y value. So the focus is 0p, and the formula is x squared equals 4 times py. So if I apply that over here, I got to move my face over here. What I know is that p equals -6. So then x squared is equal to 4 times p, which is -6, times y. So this becomes -24 times y, which is x squared. Then algebraically, we're just going to divide both sides by -24. And so we get x squared divided by -24 equals y. Now, it's kind of some sloppy handwriting, but what is the answer then? D. Okay? So remember, this is probably a better table is if you go to slide, this is 4.2. If you go to slide 6 on 4.2 notes, this little table, you might want to jot that down in your notebook, okay? It's the same thing, except you add more stuff. Because k equals 0 and h equals 0, that simplifies to the other one. All right, let's move on to the next one. It says y equals x squared. All right, well then y equals 1 over 16x squared. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 16. When I do that, I get 16y is equal to x squared. Remember that 4 times p should equal that 16. So when I divide by 4, I get p is equal to 4. Also, because it's y equals x squared, we know that that's going to be 0, comma p. And this is all from that table. It's just Mr. Adams has kind of memorized it. And then the directrix is just going to be y equals the opposite of that. Whoops. Which would be -4. It equals -p. So y equals -p is -4. So we're looking for 0, comma 4, y equals -4. I think it's D. Let me double check. Number 4 was D. Let me check my answers yet. Okay. Does that make sense? How do I solve the system of equations for number 5? I just plug them into the calculator because they're both set equal to y. I can literally, and I picked this question on purpose, I could literally plug this into the calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in, let me move my face over here. I'm going to plug in for y equals, I'm going to plug in the first equation, which is x squared plus 5x plus 4. What? That's weird. Plus 5x plus 4. And then for the second equation, I'm going to put 8x plus 8. And I hit graph. And so I'm just looking for this little intersection. It looks like x equals -1. Now what I'm going to do, just to save time, I'm going to go to where x equals -1. Yep, they both equal 0. See that? So, wait. this might have two solutions. So let's go back and look at the graph. Let's look at the table of values. So it's going to be a positive x. So I know that when x equals -1, that y equals 0 for both equations. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and look for them to equal the same thing again. When x equals 4, do you see how they both equal 40? Can you guys see that? So x equals 4, y equals 40. So what's that answer? C. See how I did that? I'm almost done with the whole test. We got 5 minutes too. See this equation here? I can solve this on a graphing calculator, but I have to solve both equations for y. So I'm going to start with -8x plus 4, y equals 32. I'm going to add 8x, that's supposed to be an x, to both sides. And I get 4y is equal to 8x plus 32. I'm going to divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. And I get y equals 2x plus 8. That's the first equation I'm going to enter in. Now this one I'm just going to subtract 3 from both sides. So the second equation is y equals the quantity x plus 4 squared minus 3. So those are the two equations I'm going to put into my calculator. So I'm going to go back here to y equals. I'm going to say 2x plus 8. Is that right? Yeah, 2x plus 8. Clear out this other stuff. 2x plus 8. And then the next one is going to be, oh shoot. Oh, what the heck is going on? This next one is going to be the quantity x plus 4 raised to the second power minus 3. Again, I'm going to hit graph. Looks like it crosses in two places. It looks like -3 and -1. I can verify that in the table. -1. What did I do with my little marker? So it looks like when it's -1, they both equal 6. And the second place, it looks like at -5. Let's keep going. -5, they both equal -2. So I'm just looking at the intersections. That's C, right? Yeah. Well, you got to double check. Now this one, you would do the same thing. So I'm just going to skip that. The substitution, though, I'm going to plug in the thing. We're probably going to run out of time. But remember, I'm going to do the reduced row echelon of the following matrix. 2 minus 1 plus 1 equals -5. We don't need the equal sign. I don't know why I wrote it down. And then, shoot. I didn't give myself. So over here, I'm going to get 2, -1, 1, and -5. Then I have 1a, -1b, 0, then -2. Then I have 2, 1, and 0, and then 5. Plug that in the graphing calculator. We won't have time, but that will give you the answer. Right? You guys remember how to do that? And 7 is the same thing. You solve for y, plug them both into the graphing calculator, and figure out which one, where the intersections are. It'll be 2 solutions, possibly. Could be 1. Could be none. I have to see. I noticed that all the solutions are 1. So remember, this is probably like a circle or an ellipse or something. So it probably just touches. This is a straight line that probably just touches it. Okay? Any questions for Mr. Adams? All right.